Hello, it's Peter here. I just want to tell you about something that's actually pretty exciting that's coming out on Friday. So that's either tomorrow or today, depending when you're watching this video. So it's a thing called Instamate, and it's about Instagram. Now, Instagram is a pretty good source of free traffic. The engagement of the audience is much higher. Now, they are a kind of an entertainment, crowd. It's typically sort of under 35. Um, I'll show you some of the demographics in a minute. But the thing that was always the problem, certainly for me with Instagram, was that you had to run the thing from your mobile phone. And the kind of images that certainly that I want to use are not, pictures of me that I take on my mobile phone. So it was always a case of having to, transfer photographs over, onto the phone to upload them and all this sort of stuff. And it's, you're working on a 3-inch screen and all this kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a nightmare. And obviously you can't do normal sort of marketing things like scheduling, posts or getting your outsourcers to help you to populate it. And it is, Instagram is very much a content platform. So you do need to be uploading pictures regularly, or these short little 15-second video clips. It needs to be happening, regularly. It's also a great potential for it to be run as a curation thing, but we'll talk about that, maybe later. Anyway, but so what Luke's done is he's done a desktop version, basically, of Instagram app, which is called Instamate, and it lets us do all the things that we would hope that we could do. It may not be a completely smooth ride. It's been in beta test for over a year, and it's been going strong. But obviously, Instagram is naturally averse to anything to do with automation or anything like that. So there might be a few hiccups along the way. Knowing Luke and how he's handled issues like that with Facebook, I'm sure it will come back very quickly. So I don't see it as being a problem, but there might be a couple of little hiccups, just as millions of people come on board with this thing and posting content that isn't necessarily from their mobile phones. So that's the only one thing that I want you to be wary of, is that Instagram do expect us to upload camera kind of pictures, so it's certainly going to be good for you to have content which actually got people in them, and not just think that you can upload adverts or screen grabs or something like that. You can certainly do a mixture of them, but you want to have some people shots in there. And as I say, the curation thing is a great way of handling this, because you can legitimately and morally take somebody else's images and comment on them and repost them, and use that as a kind of form of curation. And that's another way to get content to your channel, and also engagement with other users. If you like them, they like you. You comment on theirs, they'll comment on yours, all that kind of stuff. So it's just it's a good kind of strategy to adopt anyway. But don't just think that you can upload screen grabs. You do need to have some human content on there, and it's very much about people's stories. So they like the human element of it. So even if it's a pen name and not a fake picture, but a picture that isn't necessarily you, obviously one with permission, or curated or whatever, it should be a human story. Okay, so with that said, this will let us basically run multiple Instagram accounts from our desktop PC, or Mac. Yeah, that's right, because it's a cloud-based thing. So the question you're probably asking, but is Instagram important? Is it for me? So here I am on SimilarWeb, and this is Instagram's main site, and you can see that they get 1.4 billion, 1.4 billion with a B, views every month. Okay, and you can see it's pretty steady. It's pretty steady. It's actually on the increase at the moment, but it's, you know, basically pretty steady. It's always been over 1 billion since August 2015. As you probably know, Facebook bought it. You can even run ads on Instagram from your Facebook account if you want to do it that way. We'll talk about the free way of doing it in a second. And you can see that they're very engaged. You know, the 28 views typically, they're on there for 5 minutes. The bounce rate's very low, 30%. You can see it is predominantly US based. There is obviously a big European, you know, contingent over here with Russia and, you know, these other places, and the little UK bit from where I'm from. And you can see also that it's very interesting the way that their traffic's done. So a lot of it is obviously direct because people know Instagram when they're just coming there, you know, from the app or, you know, from bookmarks or whatever. But also 11% of other sites are referring them to them, which we'll see in a second. And 14% of it is organic search. Okay, so something's happening, they're searching on Google or something, and they're being led, you know, to Instagram. And same thing with social channels, very high, 23%. Lots of social activity. We'll see where that's coming from in a minute. Again, leading to Instagram. Okay, but obviously social traffic's free, organic search traffic's free. Referrals can be free, depending. Not a lot happening from display ads. They're not really running any display ads, you know, hardly to speak of, and not much email activity going on. That's tracked anyway. So, you know, these 11% of referrals. You know, the two interesting ones is a lot of it's coming from Twitch.tv, which is, as you can see, the world's biggest gaming site with 45 million gamers on there. So, you know, it fits in with the demographic of the Instagram audience, you know, under 35. Fairly equally split between male and female. And also Tumblr, another great kind of picture content and, you know, other content, articles and video kind of site. But there's, you know, a lot of Tumblr stuff is linking into Instagram. Okay. Well, the WhatsApp messaging app, you know, it's another way into it. And, you know, so that's where this stuff is coming from Tumblr, which is another content site, and Twitch TV, which is a gamer site, and then WhatsApp, the messaging app. In terms of the search traffic, it's usually very little of it is paid keywords, almost none. They're just doing a little bit of brand protection with Instagram paid ads as a keyword. And, you know, basically the organic search that they're getting is people, you know, looking for Instagram. They know that Instagram is what they want. In terms of social channels, it's a bit up and, you know, up reverse because, you know, Twitter is actually in the lead here. Normally it's Facebook. This VK Conti thing, that's a sort of European version of Facebook, if you like. Reddit's an interesting one. There's probably lots of little subreddits going on with little special interest groups, and a little bit of video linking into them as well. Okay, in terms of the paid ads that they are running, you can see that they're running them, you know, on these sites. Interestingly enough, Outbrain, which is a sort of slipstream, you know, content advertising. You know, there's little funny little boxes you see on other sites, and then the rest of it is sort of a mishmash of you know, stuff. They are running some Facebook ads, probably some Twitter ads, and Citrio, I think, was an Indian site. I can't remember now. And this one is a Colombian site. Now this is actually a free game site, which is pretty interesting. And there's probably lots of good content ideas that you could get from there, and just use Google Translate to do it. But, you know, there's lots of imagery and stuff going on there. And again, we know that the audience is under 35 and probably into some games. They've also go to Ask.fm, Twitter. VK is the European version of Facebook for sure. Tumblr we already mentioned, and Facebook we already mentioned, and you can see that, you know, that's what they're doing. Other sites, you know, like them, nothing really actually that relevant. Inc361 we'll look at in a minute. It's a Twitter, sorry, Instagram discovery site that you find people with similar interests and that you measure how you're doing. and all that kind of. I think it's free. I haven't actually joined it yet, but it seems pretty interesting. But you can see it's ranking there, for that stuff. But anyway, but you can see, it's all pretty active. 1.4 billion visits per month. Largely US based. You can see that the traffic is, a lot of it is free, or they know of Instagram itself. Very little paid ads need to go on, and you can see the other kind of places and the social places that they come from. So who are the people who use Instagram? So I've used the Facebook tool, and put Instagram in. Where's it gone? Oh, there it is. And we can see that it's basically fairly evenly split between men and women. I don't think there's much of a split there, but you can see it's predominantly 34 and under. Okay, so 35 and under people, and then it tails off dramatically. So not very many older people per se. Okay, so interestingly, the majority of these people are apple pie families, which Facebook classify as upper middle class couples with school-aged children. Probably homeowners, may have a minivan and may listen to the radio. Okay, obviously you can take that with a pinch of salt, but we're talking about fairly affluent people here. Also, a strong contingent of single parents, and again, you can see that they're certainly middle income and up. Career building people, they also have a presence there, but what we see is that there aren't many people who are these kind of categories down here. So we're definitely talking about a slightly more affluent audience. Now the other kind of sites that they like, you can see that they're into Beats by Dr. Dre, so again that fits in with the under 35 kind of music scene. They're also into Vine videos. Their favourite retail things would be places like Foot Locker, and they like MTV for entertainment, and World Star Hip Hop, again, all very kind of under 35 kind of fan bases. Converse and Hollister clothing, I don't know them personally, and they may be into NBA sports. Okay, in terms of affinity, Instagram and Vine, Champ Sports, Beats by Dr. Dre, Foot Locker, no surprises there. In terms of location, we saw it's a very strong US audience, but particularly a big contingent of people from New York, then Los Angeles, and then Houston, Texas, and then Chicago, Illinois, and then you can see the other ones down there, but not so much Miami and Florida, and not so much Washington or San Diego or Phoenix. So more of these sort of suburban places, New York, Los Angeles, that kind of thing. Activity-wise, so how engaged are they? How interactive are they? You can see that they do click on ads, okay, which is reassuring. They also do like pages. They're not too bad at commenting and that kind of stuff. But the interesting one was that they are clicking on ads, and they would do engage the thing. Obviously, they're a very mobile audience because it's predominantly a mobile app. Instagram until Luke did his thing, but obviously users are still going to be on their mobiles. So mobile web. A lot more people on the Android than the iPad. The iPad. Hang on, but the iPhone. Yeah, so the iPhone's about the same actually. So even split between iOS and Android. Not so much happening on Blackberries and anything. And I don't know. And computer usage is lower than expected again because it's a mobile app. So that's not surprising. In terms of the household income, you can see that they're in this middle range here, predominantly earning over $50,000 to $75,000 a year. They're likely to be um, yeah, they're likely to be renting more, although that graph looks a bit confusing, but more of them are renting than homeowners. If they do own a house, you can see that predominantly they're in this $100,000 house valuation, not so much the higher one and not so much the lower one. Well, no, a bit more the lower one, sorry. But predominantly this 100,000 one. Household size, smaller families, 1 or 2 people, and they do use cash quite a lot, but they do also have credit cards and that sort of stuff. They're not so good at buying. Where did I see that? No, actually they are. So yeah, they're buying stuff there. They're less likely than the average to buy. So that's the home value. So there's slightly lower value homeowners. And somewhere I saw the spending. Yes, they're not spending much money on travel and entertainment. They don't buy petrol and stuff. Not really premium purchases, and not really department stores. But they are using credit cards. They are using cash, and they are spending. That's their income. Sorry. So then that middle range income band. That's what I'm looking for. In terms of purchases, you can see that they tend to buy cheaper stuff, and middle range stuff, not so much high end stuff, and not very cheap stuff. In terms of what they actually buy, food and drink, clothing, subscription services, and to a lesser degree pet products and health and beauty, and household, and a bit of sport. Not really home and garden, not really children's stuff, not really business stuff. Okay, they're not really entrepreneurs. It would seem. Obviously, that's a generalisation. In terms of what they might drive, it's a mid-sized car or a small SUV, or possibly a little sports car, maybe a pickup truck. Not these other ones. Not likely to be a minivan owner, or have a compact car or drive a luxury sedan. That's not really surprising. Okay, so we're getting a good feel who they are. There's a mid-range income, under 35. We know the kind of things that they like, and where they go and what they do and how they spend and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so it's very likely that there's a audience that you'll be able to target. So how well is the kind of general world doing with Instagram? So as you'd expect with a social channel, corporate companies like Pizza Hut and everything don't really understand quite what to do with it. You can see that they're fairly unimaginative with what they're posting. Don't seem to be running any kind of engagement things where they're asking for votes or competitions or anything like that. My internet's gone slow. That's probably the most intriguing one they've done. I don't know what that's about. And that's probably a Valentine's promotion. But not very exciting content. Not really an awful lot of content either. I don't know how long they've had their channel. And not a huge amount of followers considering who they are. Okay, let's come back to that one in a minute. So this was a film. Jurassic World was a film. You can see they've done a little bit better. 200,000 users. They've actually got some pretty good content in here. Behind the pictures from the scene and comments and stuff. And there's certainly interaction from the audience. If we look at there's the post that I spotted before. Maybe it was up here. I've lost me example post. It's like that one. Hang on. Okay, I've lost the post I saw earlier, but yeah, you can see. Oh no, there it is. You can see that the they're engaged. 246 comments about one of the female actors in it. So that's obviously causing interaction there. But you can see 12,000 likes on that, 69 comments, 13,000 likes on that, 104 comments, 21,000 likes on that, 518 comments. I saw one for 17,000 a minute ago. Just the one with the dinosaurs, fight scene. There we go, on that one. So 17,000 likes in there, 316 comments. You can see, they're engaged. So, with the right content, and obviously it's very pictorial, it's entertainment based. They're they don't really run any, social campaigns as such or competitions as I know of, but not quite a successful channel. For an event kind of based film. And 200,000 fans, just from under 200 posts, not so bad. So they kind of got it because they had the right kind of content and the right kind of attitude. Now this one's doing surprisingly well. It's actually a fashion store, Shabby Apple, and you can see that they're actually posting the sketches of some of the stuff as well as the actual end product. So they're trying to engage their audience a lot, but you can see that they're getting 1,300 likes, 1,159 likes, 745 likes, 1,100 likes again, very 2,300 likes, 55 comments, very kind of engaged audience. That they've got there, and they've got almost 100,000 followers, which isn't bad for a little clothes store. And obviously you can go to the clothes store and do it, but the people who are looking at this fashion are definitely engaged in that, and this is obviously a very commercial venture. They're not trying to entertain the people. This is a fashion shop, and they're being a fashion shop, and they've been successful at being a fashion shop. Okay, Southwest Airlines, another corporate, again not really getting it. Done 700 posts, 200,000 followers, not bad, but not really great considering who they are. But you can see the content that they're posting is not really very inspired, unless you like aeroplanes as such. Not really very exciting. I don't know what vibe you'd get from that if you were an end user. Okay, so the corporates aren't really getting it, but they never really have got social channels. So here's an example of another shop, another fashion shop, Fashion Nova. Again, it's a fashion shop. They've got their own website. They've got 3.7 million followers. Okay, but they've been active about it. They've done 10,000 posts in however long they've done it. But you can see they use fairly classy model shots. They spend a lot of time on the photography, making it look good and that sort of stuff. So you can see why people would see it and like it. And obviously the fashion's not bad, if you like jeans with holes in them. But they're using proper models. But a very successful small thing. They're not pretending to entertain or anything. 3.7 million followers. For their e-commerce fashion store. Okay, not so shabby really. Little watch store. Okay, they haven't got a huge number of followers, but it's still 500,000. I say not huge. Again, they've been active. 1,400 posts. But you can see it's not just product shots. They've been very good at doing classy photography with their watches in really good settings. They're trying to make it a real designer brand of watch. Very classy kind of watch style. and they've got 500,000 people who like watches, and there's their website, and no doubt they've sold, or by all reports they've sold quite a lot, and it's a mid-price watch. But 500,000 people, and again, they're not pretending to entertain, but they have gone to a lot of trouble to get the photography right, and 6,000 likes, 23 comments, 5,000 likes, 79 comments, 8,000 likes, 120 comments, and then the unhappy customer there, but nonetheless they're adding to the social noise, but some people are presumably liking them, but they're engaged with the what's with the with the product. Okay, nonetheless, 500,000 followers. Let's look for another one with that one had 81 comments. So yeah, people all over the world. People calling their friends to look at him. Which is what you want. So they're helping them to go viral. Bringing their friends' attention to it, and they're there he is recommending it to his friends, saying he thinks it's a good thing to look at. This guy's asking how to buy them, so that's obviously very engaged from a buying standpoint. But anyway, you can see it's a watch store. They're not trying, they're not filling it with quotes or stuff like that, but they have gone to some effort with the actual pictures to make it a classy looking brand. Okay, and this one Fitzy, let me scroll down there. So these people saw a slimming tee, and they've got 1.7 million followers. Okay, they've done 7,000 posts, not bad at all. 1.7 million followers. You can see that they're fairly engaged. 853 likes, 26 comments, 2,000 odd likes, 625 comments. Okay, but you can see they're not just doing product pictures like this. They are doing some kind of amusing stuff and that kind of thing, and one of their most popular ones was I think this little baby one, which was where I heard it. When we started, that's that gone. Right, so little, cute little dog pictures, all this sort of stuff. Obviously, there's some slimming shots to show that it helps you to, to slim. But this one had 10,000 likes, 934 comments. It's a picture of a, baby when you're cute, but you aren't summer ready. Obviously, they're trying to say get a beach look, slim to lose weight. But obviously these people are. 934 comments. They're engaged, with the channel. Again, they're calling their friends over, to have a look, which is all, getting the visibility, for the shop. Okay, because when they get there eventually, they'll see that they're selling the product, what the product offers, kind of lifestyle the product offers, and obviously they can get to the website and do their buy whatever it is that they want. But 1.7 million followers, not so bad. But again, they haven't tried to entertain people with quotes or stuff. It's all health and slimming related, with some funny and cute and all that kind of stuff. Stuff. Little cat video there. Don't know what it's about. And it's pretty lively and entertaining, isn't it? So that's why it's working. So that's it. But these last three I've shown you, these are actually all stores. This one sells slimming tea. This one sells watches. This one sells ladies fashion. The corporate people didn't do so well. But again, another fashion store there. 100,000 customers for this little company. It could be a very significant number of sales. So there are small businesses, entrepreneurs. On there we can see how event media stuff works as well. But we can see how people like Pizza Hut, who've not really got anything to say apparently, are they're not really making the most of it. Okay, so one of the bonuses I'm going to give you is this keyword report thing here, which shows what Instagram are ranking for in Google's eyes. So it's also got the volume of searches and the value of the searches for CPC, and I've given you a value column here. So it can be that the high value searches might not have enough volume behind them, and it could be that something with a lot of volume behind it, even though it's a lower value of CPC, might actually have more value to us. So we can see that James 1 is apparently a very high value command for some reason, and as we would imagine, there's a lot of celebrity kind of news and stuff going on. Reality T's there though, Shave Club. So Shave Club's a high CPC thing there. It's got a pretty decent value, and they've got their own channel which we could look at and see what what they do, how well they engage their audience. So not really many followers, unfortunately. 48,000. So they could do better, but they've tried quite well. I mean, there's more than just razors on it, but somehow they've missed the plot somewhere. Okay, so they could try a bit harder, but if they do get customers from this, then obviously they're getting a lot of financial gain from it. Okay, because they're willing to pay $25, or somebody's willing to pay $25 per click for that search word if it was on organic search. So if they can get any amount of traffic from it on a free social site like Instagram, obviously that's going to be pretty useful for them. Okay, so I mean all sorts of things. Glazed donuts. Okay, blimey, very high EPC glazed donuts. I don't know what that is. Or it could be that you want to go with the masses. So where's there a big volume of stuff? Okay, so Walmart apparently a lot of traction. They've got their own Instagram store. Let's see what that's like. I haven't checked this out before, so that'd be interesting. Oh yeah, not bad. So almost 500,000 followers. I haven't done an awful lot of posts. They're being very kind of a retailer about it, and not really engaging the audience with any kind of lifestyle. Who she was, but not particularly. That one's quite interesting, but not particularly stunningly engaging. Content. So, but nonetheless, they've done pretty well. Almost 500,000 followers, 400,000 followers. If they're getting sales from that, then that's good. It could be better.